What's up, guys? Welcome to Real Beats, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to create and put effects on your vocal chops. If you guys haven't subbed already or turned post on these on, make sure you do so because it does happen a lot. Let's hop right into it. So I'm going to try to keep this short because it's a lot of stuff I have to go through. So with that being said, I'm going to just show you what we have. So I'm using Arcade because I'm actually recording right now, so I can't do it myself. So I'll play that so you can hear it. And this is really easy to do because arcade is goated. Like you don't gotta, like, let's not even play. Like, Arcade is probably one of the best plugins. So if you don't want to sing it yourself, you can use Arcade. If you don't want to pay, you could just sing it yourself. Simple as that, or download some stuff or whatever. That brings me to the next part, which is if you want to record it yourself. Now I think this is the best way to do it because you don't have to, because sometimes you can't find the melody that you want, right? You can't find that perfect vocal run, right? So you can do it yourself. So that's what we're going to talk about in this next part. Now, this is the part where you record your vocals. So I recommend not putting on effects while you're recording, unless it's like reverb or something, but you can do it. The reason I say that is because if you want to take the reverb out, or if you want to take the distortion out, you can't, right? You have to record it again. So that's why I do it after, but it does sound good if you can get it right, if you record it within it. But the green right here is required. So if you see any green plugins, that means it's required for the actual effect. All the rest is extra. And I'll go through all these. So let's start with pitcher. This is what I have. Mine is on 55 Hertz. You just put it to the key. And for me, I like mine between fast and medium. So like the second notch, 1, 2, right there. I don't touch this formant stuff because it's just garbage. It's not a good plugin for this. You can use other plugins, which we have here for like this throat effect or formant, but you can try it. It doesn't sound bad all the time, but most of the time it's garbage. All right, now the limiter. So I'm gonna reset this. Now this is to crush it. Now this is important. You want to crush this vocal down. You're not trying to make this vocal the lead vocal, right? It's just supposed to be a part of the melody. So let's go to default. Now I'll show you how to do this. So you want to turn everything right here down. Okay, then go to comp, and you want to turn this release all the way up. And then we have to, of course, we have to activate it. So let's play it so we can see. Okay, so we want to pull this threshold, like probably, I usually go in between, so halfway through, and then the knee and ratio all the way up. And then I usually just pull the saturation down to where it hits the blue line. And that's just to keep everything at the same value. Okay, so now we can go through just these little effects here. And some of these may not sound good because I didn't really prepare them. I just put presets, but I'll just play them as they go. So here we have hardcore. This is the preset. This is my favorite one, music at work. Okay. All right, and of course you'll need to do other things to it, but this is for recording, right? Or just right after. So we have this effector, right? We have it on the Vox, and this is where I have mine, and I'll just show you the different ones. This is the fruity vocoder, right? For the formant, I just turn this all the way down, and these three all the way up. Vocodex. Now with this, you want to turn the wetness down, and this is on. Turn this off, and then you can mess with these 4 settings to get like a different feel for like that throat effect. And I'll just play them. You can see how, you know, the different thing or different settings you can get for this, right? So that's it for the pre-recording, but I recommend just using the limiter and the pitcher and just turn this all off and then do that in the post. All right, so there's that part, and let's move on to the next one. All right, so now we're in post. Now this part you start on if you already had a vocal. So if you have Arcade or you just dragged in a vocal like me, this is where you start. This part is if you want to record your own vocal. So we should all be at this part now. So I'll just go through all these effects one by one. All right, and I probably should color this one green because this one is also important. And you guys will have these effects as well. So hardcore, this is the preset I have. Now the original one that I had doesn't work with the effects that I have. It's not as authentic. So here's what it sounds like with it on. Oops. And that's exactly why you need that limiter on. All right, next we have the EQ, and I'll show you that. So now I'm gonna default it and show you how to build that from scratch. Now you can right click, type. Now you would think low pass would give you the band to go to the high pass, right? But really you gotta press high pass. Now it's a little confusing. I don't know why it's like that, but it is. So, right, and it makes sense, but at the same time, it is a little misleading. So we go right click, order, steep, and you can and then I just take one of these bands. You can just kind of pull it up and then adjust it how you like. All right, and that's just how you can build that from scratch. Next, you can add, once again, it's the same as this. It's just, whichever one you like. Now, fast distortion, that's gonna add some high-end distortion. Now, the reason you need this is because you're going to muffle it. So you can do this by resampling it. Just turn down the sample rate, which I'm not gonna show you that in here, but you could, do that, or you could use this filter. These are the settings here. You just turn this down. I don't know if this will be like 1/3 of the way. And then I'll turn this on, this ×2 on, right? And then it's at 90%. I think 90% is the sweet spot. So in combo with all this that's on, you turn this on. And that's how you get that underwater kind of effect. You can combine it with some of these as well. Right, at this point, it's just your preference, what you like, right? All right, so that's that. And now we're gonna move on to the second post. And this is just something else you can do, but this will require another free third-party plugin. Okay, so this is post 2. This is an alternative to post 1, which is completely stock plugins, everything. Now, this includes a third-party plugin, which is free. The only reason you wouldn't have this is if you're lazy, if you don't feel like downloading it, but it is free and you should have it. So this is with it off, right? This is the effect with it off. All right, pretty much almost the same. You have less control, but it's a quick little preset you can throw on, a quick plugins, whatever. The reason I have fast distortion is because when we put pitch proof on, we'll need to make it a little bit crispier so we can hear those low frequencies. Now, this is how you set pitch proof up. We have the key, you can pick the key. And then the dry and wetness, I always turn it all the way 100% up because sometimes the middle one doesn't sound too good with the distortion. If you have a clean vocal, it'll sound good. The pitch, -12 or +12, or you can pick any of these if you want. Always put mine in stereo. I hate the mono. Stereo is the one I like. Now turn it on. You can see it's a little hard to hear, so that's why I have this distortion. Okay, and then we got delay and reverb. That's pretty self-explanatory. And then I added this because we need it because of the distortion. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is just record this. So let's turn this on. Let's arm this to record. Press this, and let's just record this little short section. All right, let's turn this stuff back off. You can name it. All right, so now what we want to do is double click this, right click, go to pitch corrector. All right, and now you have full control over this. So what you could do is you can go to these scissors, and let me make this a little bit larger before I show you this other thing. Right, and you can snap it to scale if you want, but we know it's a D sharp minor, so now the notes should change. And some of these notes won't be in the scale, but that's okay. Just don't worry about those. So what I like to do is center it just so everything is kind of like a little bit perfect. So next step, now this is like a key thing you could do. You could go to your MIDI if you have a MIDI, double click, and now you have access to the notes so you can harmonize with your your MIDI or your melody. So let me make sure everything is kind of set up so you can see. Let's kind of shrink this down a bit. All right, so you can see the 2, the 3, and the 4. You can match that up with the ones in your melody. So what you could do on parts where it's a long tone, so like, so maybe right here. So right here, you could really, like, you could really hear that tone, right? So this is a good place. So this is at the 3. So at the 3, you can use any of these notes, the B, G sharp. Let's just try the B. All right, I didn't like that one too much, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like, you can really mess with this however you like. All right. Again, you could just, you know, do this with the rest. So maybe this one would be a good one. Let's see if this one sounds. All right. And that sound, like this sound is more authentic to it. Right, I'm sure you heard something like that before, right? So that's like a little tip that you can do to kind of really make this how you want it. But that's gonna be it for this video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.